Dear students, please open your textbook before you start listening. Underline important lines and mark difficult words. Use earphone or headphone for full concentration. Happy listening and happy learning. Class 10 CBSE NCERT book, Subject Science, Chapter 8, How do organisms reproduce? Page number 127. Before we discuss the mechanism by which organisms reproduce, let us ask a more basic question. Why do organisms reproduce? After all, reproduction is not necessary to maintain the life of an individual organism. Unlike the essential life processes such as nutrition, respiration, or excretion. On the other hand, if an individual organism is going to create more individuals, a lot of its energy will be spent in the process. So why should an individual organism waste energy on a process it does not need to stay alive? It would be interesting to discuss the possible answers in the classroom. Whatever the answer to this question, it is obvious that we notice organisms because they reproduce. If there were to be only one non-reproducing member of a particular kind, it is doubtful that we would have noticed its existence. It is the large number of organisms belonging to a single species that bring them to our notice. How do we know that two different individual organisms belong to the same species? Usually, we say this because they look similar to each other. Thus, reproducing organisms create new individuals that look very much like themselves. 8.1. Do organisms create exact copies of themselves? Organisms look similar because their body designs are similar. If body design are to be similar, the blueprint for these designs should be similar. Thus, reproduction at its most basic level will involve making copies of the blueprint of body design. In class 9, we learned that the chromosomes in the nucleus of a cell contain information for inheritance of features from parents to next generation in the form of DNA, deoxyribonucleic acid molecule. The DNA in the cell nucleus is the information source for making proteins. If the information is changed, different protein will be made. Different protein will eventually lead to altered body designs. Therefore, a basic event in reproduction is the creation of a DNA copy. Cells use chemical reaction to build copies of their DNA. This creates two copies of the DNA in a reproducing cell, and they will need to be separated from each other. However, keeping one copy of DNA in the original cell and simply pushing the other one out would not work. Page number 128. Because the copy pushed out would not have any organized cellular structure for maintaining life processes. Therefore, DNA copying is accompanied by the creation of an additional cellular apparatus, and then the DNA copies separate, each with its own cellular apparatus. Effectively, a cell divides to give rise to two cells. These two cells are of course similar, but are they likely to be absolutely identical? The answer to this question will depend on how accurately the copying reaction involved occur. No biochemical reaction is absolutely reliable. Therefore, it is only to be expected that the process of copying the DNA will have some variation each time. As a result, the DNA copies generated will be similar, but may not be identical to the original. Some of these variations might be so drastic that the new DNA copy cannot work with the cellular apparatus it inherits. Such a newborn cell will simply die. On the other hand, there could still be many other variations in the DNA copies that would not lead to such a drastic outcome. Thus, the surviving cells are similar to but subtly different from each other. This inbuilt tendency for variation during reproduction is the basis for evolution, as we will discuss in the next chapter. 8.1.1 The importance of variation. Populations of organisms fill well-defined places or niches in the ecosystem. Using their ability to reproduce, the consistency of DNA copying during reproduction is important for the maintenance of body design features that allow the organism to use that particular niche. Reproduction is therefore linked to the stability of populations of species. However, niches can change because of reasons beyond the control of the organisms. Temperatures on Earth can go up or down. Water level can vary, or there could be meteorite hits. To think of a few examples. If a population of reproducing organisms were suited to a particular niche, and if the niche were drastically altered, the population could be wiped out. However, if some variation were to be present in a few individuals in these populations, there would be some chance for them to survive. Thus, if there were a population of bacteria living in temperate waters, and if the water temperature were to be increased by global warming, most of these bacteria would die, but the few variants resistant to heat would survive and grow further. Variation is thus useful for the survival of species over time. Now questions. 1. What is the importance of DNA copying in reproduction? Number 2. Why is variation beneficial to the species but not necessarily for the individual? Page number 129. 8.2 Modes of reproduction used by single organisms. Activity 8.1 Dissolve about 10 gram of sugar in 100 ml of water. Second, take 20 ml of this solution in a test tube and add a pinch of yeast granule to it. Third, put a cotton plug on the mouth of the test tube and keep it in a warm place. Fourth, after 1 or 2 hours, put a small drop of yeast culture from the test tube on a slide and cover it with a cover slip. Next, observe the slide under a microscope. Activity 8.2 Wet a slice of bread and keep it in a cool, moist and dark place. Observe the surface of the slice with a magnifying glass. Record your observation for a week. Compare and contrast the ways in which yeast grows in the first case and how mold grows in the second. Having discussed the context in which reproductive processes work, let us now examine how different organisms actually reproduce. The modes by which various organisms reproduce depends on the body design of the organism. 8.2.1 Fission. For unicellular organism, cell division or fission leads to the creation of new individuals. Many different patterns of fission have been observed. Many bacteria and protozoa simply split into two equal halves during cell division. In organisms such as amoeba, the splitting of the two cells during division can take place in any plane. Activity 8.3 Observe a permanent slide of amoeba under a microscope. Next, similarly, observe another permanent slide of amoeba showing binary fission. Next, now compare the observation of both the slides. However, some unicellular organisms show somewhat more organization of their bodies, such as is seen in Leishmania, which cause Kala Azar, which have a whip-like structure at one end of the cell. In such organism, binary fission occurs in a definite orientation in relation to these structures. Page number 130. Other single-celled organisms such as the malarial parasite Plasmodium divide into many daughter cells simultaneously by multiple fission. Yeast, on the other hand, can put out small buds that separate and grow further, as we saw in activity 8.1. 8.2.2 Fragmentation. Activity 8.4 Collect water from a lake or pond that appears dark green and contains filamentous structures. Second, put one or two filament on a slide. Next, put a drop of glycerin on these filaments and cover it with a cover slip. Next, observe the slide under a microscope. Next, can you identify different tissues in the Spirogyra filaments? In multicellular organism with relatively simple body organization, simple reproductive methods can still work. Spirogyra, for example, simply breaks up into smaller pieces upon maturation. These pieces or fragments grow into new individuals. Can we work out the reason for this based on what we saw in activity 8.4? This is not true for all multicellular organisms. They cannot simply divide cell by cell. The reason is that many multicellular organisms, as we have seen, are not simply a random collection of cells. Specialized cells are organized as tissues and tissues are organized into organs, which then have to be placed at definite position in the body. In such a carefully organized situation, cell by cell division would be impractical. Multicellular organisms therefore need to use more complex ways of reproduction. A basic strategy used in multicellular organisms is that different cell types perform different specialized functions. Following this general pattern, reproduction in such organism is also the function of a specific cell type. How is reproduction to be achieved from a single cell type? If the organism itself consists of many cell types, the answer is that there must be a single cell type in the organism that is capable of growing, proliferating, and making other cell types under the right circumstances. 8.2.3 Regeneration. Many fully differentiated organisms have the ability to give rise to new individual organisms from their body part. That is, if the individual is somehow cut or broken up into many pieces, many of these pieces grow into separate individuals. For example, simple animals like Hydra and Planaria can be cut into any number of pieces and each piece grows into a complete organism. This is known as regeneration. See figure 8.3. Regeneration is carried out by specialized cells. These cells proliferate and make large number of cells. From this mass of cells, different cells undergo changes to become various cell types and tissues. Page number 131. These changes take place in an organized sequence referred to as development. However, regeneration is not the same as reproduction, since most organisms would not normally depend on being cut up to be able to produce. 8.2.4 Budding. Organisms such as Hydra use regenerative cell for reproduction in the process of budding. In Hydra, a bud develops as an outgrowth due to repeated cell division at one specific site. See in figure 8.4. These buds develop into tiny individuals and when fully mature, detach from the parent body and become new independent individuals. 8.2.5 Vegetative propagation. There are many plants in which parts like the root, stem and leaves develop into new plant under appropriate conditions. Unlike in most animals, plants can indeed use such a mode for reproduction. This property of vegetative propagation is used in methods such as layering or grafting to grow many plants like sugarcane, roses or grapes for agriculture purposes. Plants raised by vegetative propagation can bear flowers and fruits earlier than those produced from seeds. Such methods also make possible the propagation of plants such as banana, orange, rose, and jasmine that have lost the capacity to produce seeds. Another advantage of vegetative propagation is that all plants produced are genetically similar enough to the parent plant to have all its characteristics. Thank you, students. Please listen twice for better understanding. Hope you liked the video and subscribe for upcoming videos.